Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another video at my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you a card made using the Hand-Picked Flowers stamp set from Gina K. This is a large 6x8 stamp set. I actually bought it in a bundle with the dies, but I'm only going to be using the stamps today. I thought the large floral image would look amazing watercolored on black watercolor paper with these vivid paints from Iuile Watercolors. This is the 183 to 194 set. I've had this one for many years and I had lost it in my very messy craft room, and recently it unearthed itself, and this was the perfect project to break it out. So I'm going to be stamping the main image from the stamp set directly onto black watercolor paper. I'm using some Van Gogh watercolor paper. I've tried a few different black watercolor papers over the years, and this is my favorite, mostly because it's very, very black, and also it can hold up to a little bit of abuse, meaning a little bit more water. It can handle some masking tape on it without tearing. It's just been very forgiving whenever I've used it, and I really love the results. So I started out by using an anti-static powder tool over all of that center area on the black watercolor paper. And then I stamped the flowers in white pigment ink. This ink happens to be from Concord and Ninth, but you could use any white pigment ink or even just an embossing ink. I really just like to use the white pigment ink, especially in this application where I'll be using white embossing powder anyway, because it really shows me if I've missed any of those little areas, and then I can restamp and make sure I get the full image. So after everything was stamped, I sprinkled on some white embossing powder. I used Alabaster from Brutus Monroe, and then hit that with my heat tool until all of the powder was smooth and melted. You'll notice I still have a lot of that anti-static powder tool. That comes off really easily with a little bit of elbow grease and a microfiber cloth. So I'm pressing very firmly as I wipe it over the watercolor paper, and it really does pick up any of that powder that might still be sitting on top of the paper. I then took a hardboard and taped my entire project using some masking tape. This is going to hold it down while I do my painting. Now, I don't plan to use really large amounts of watery paint, which is what would normally warp your watercolor paper. But just in case, as a good everyday watercoloring practice, I do like to tape my projects down. I'm using a size 0 and also a size 2 brush from Escoda. It's from their Prado line. It's one of my favorites. And here's what that swatching little panel looks like for my paints. So I'm going to turn on some music and let you watch all of the painting. Just as a summary, for each of these sections on the flowers, I painted with 2 colors and kind of combined the colors in the middle.
Break down all the lights, let me hold you close. I'm full of loose ends, will you be my rope? Waited my whole life, and now I know. My love won't budge. My love won't fade after the preview. We only get one life. that's a start. My love won't budge. My love won't fade after the preview. We only get one life.
After splattering a couple of the colors over my entire project, I dried my piece and then removed it from the hardboard. Now it was time to figure out what greeting I wanted to use, and I decided to use one of the dies from the Encouraging Words dies. I thought this hang in there phrase would be really nice, so I actually cut out the shadow layer out of white cardstock, and then I used kind of a bronzy gold glitter paper for the top. This glitter paper is from Simon Says Stamp. I'll try to find the specific color in their shop, but the pack of glitter paper I was using was from many years ago, so I can't guarantee that it will still be in stock. I then used my A7 Layers dies from Waffle Flower. I wanted it to be a little bit smaller than a 5x7 card. I wanted to have a little bit of a white frame around the piece. So that's why I picked those A7 layers from Waffle Flower, because they're nested and there's lots of different sizes in that die set. At this point, I was just trying to visualize where the greeting would go, kind of decided maybe in the center, a little bit off to the side would be best, and then ran that through my Empress die cutting machine. It was now time to assemble the card, so I used some 1-inch wide foam tape to add some foam all on the back of my watercolor panel. And then I pressed that down onto a prepared 5x7 folded note card. This is just made out of some Nino Solar White 110-pound cardstock. So I centered that on the middle of my card front and then pressed that down. Then I grabbed my small little die cut greeting with my tweezers and I put some little narrow foam strips on the back and then put that directly onto the card. You can see how really amazing these watercolors are. The colors shift when you tip them in the light. It sort of depends which way you tip it for what colors you will see. So I have some photos here at the end. You can see it when it's tipped one way, the bottom flower is practically all yellow, but when it's straight on, it's yellow and pink. So thanks for watching today. I hope to be back with another video very soon. Tonight was actually supposed to be a live stream, but I'm a little bit under the weather, so I thought I would just give myself a break and share this really fun card project that I already had filmed. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.